Hey, 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 what's up, Diamonds? What's up, what's up, what's up? It's me. When I'm interrupting my show, it's because I got an interview. So I got an interview today with someone very, very interesting that I met while I was doing LJDNRadio live on location at the Women's Wellness and Health event. I met Deon Boone from his company Restore Your Health LLC. I actually bought some things from him and got learned a little bit about some knowledge and everything else. Are you here, Dion?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Well, you say hello and tell everybody who you are and what you do before we get in our subjects.
Gotcha. All right. So yes, I'm Deon Boone. I'm the owner of Restore Your Health LLC. We've been in business. This year will be like the 11th year, and so I offer all kind of cleanses, detoxes, everything that's just holistic, um, even down to nutrition and things like that. Also,
Okay. It sounds good. Well, we're going to have an interesting conversation. I'm just trying to put this black post out to let people know that you're on. So if you hear me typing, that's what it is. I don't mean to be rude.
oh no, you fine.
But so I came there just to mainly support Tree because she was one of the
Mm-hmm.
ones that I had did an interview on,
Right.
and I had came across your area,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided to ask you some questions.
Right.
And one of them was about the brain.
Right. Yeah, that
One,
was your main focus.
yes, the brain. Because sometimes when you have so many things on your mind, I always say 50 million. That's my exaggeration of it. You got 50 million things on your mind, 50 million things to do.
Right.
And sometimes it's hard to focus. It's hard to concentrate, and you forget your chain of thoughts. And it's not because you're going through Alzheimer's or what people try to say.
Right.
Even though it may feel that way, especially if you're older. When we're younger and it happens, we don't think nothing of it. But when you're older and it happens, first thing we think is Alzheimer's setting in and stuff like that.
Right.
And it could be that it's just so much stuff,
Right.
that you're trying to think of all at one time that you are not focusing.
Yeah, it's so many factors that goes into that. Like you said, of course, like we kind of like in a rat race, so it's like we just we mind just all in a million different places.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the main issues with that, with brain fog and things like that, is actually parasite related.
Ooh, I hate
Yeah,
hearing that word. I hate
look,
hearing
most
that
people
word
do.
because that's what I hear about. All it
Yeah,
starts giving you creepy crawlies, thinking that something is in under your skin, and
yeah. Like I tell everybody, like that's one of them. I always tell it's funny that I always tell people like stop claiming things, but that's one of the things that I don't see because there's no way around it. It's like you can be going in the mall, touching the door, from your water, your shower. I mean, it's really no way around it. Even if you got a garden, it get in vegetables. So it's like it's not even so much about the food with that. It's like everybody has it. The thing is, you want to keep them at a minimum. That's the key. But that's one of the main symptoms of parasites is like far as in the on the brain and things like that. When you start having brain fog, like often headaches, like all kind of. It's a lot of the things that we got are parasite related.
mm-hmm. It is. It's a lot, and there's so much. I am so. I think I'm into my brain health than I'm more into anything else at this point in of my life. It's all about what helps my brain to function because you don't realize just how bad it is until you get older. And when I say older, you don't have to be in your 40s, your 50s. You can notice this in your late 30s, your mid to late 30s, um, things for your brain health, because we don't think about that as we're getting older and cluttering in our brains with stuff. We don't think about it until after a certain age. It kind of halts and say, hey, wait a minute.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So that's why it's always important. That's why herbs are so important, and I really go so hard for like holistic health, because there's so many great herbs that help the mind. Things like lion's mane and your different mushrooms, like medicinal mushrooms, are excellent for the brain. Things like ginkgo and things like that. So it's so many that really helps enhance the mind and helps protect the mind also.
Yes, it does. And so while I was talking about my brain to Deon and his lovely wife, hey, I don't know if you listen, but hey, how are you? He was telling me about this tea, and it was called a focus tea. I was saying, asking him, was it good? And he said, well, this same ingredients in this tea was used for people like Einstein and more of your bigger, intelligent people. drunk this tea. So I definitely had to have some. It was called focus tea. And I learned a lot because I got a little trinket to put the tea leaves in. And when I open up these tea leaves, I look at them like, come on. Someone went out in their backyard, dried out a couple of couple of grass seeds, some dried flowers and stuff, and put it in and packaging stuff up. This, because that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. I'm like, oh, this is a joke. This can't be real. But, I have to tell you guys on LJDNRadio and TikTok, the stuff works. That focus tea is awesome. I wish I had started drinking that when I was in my 20s.
Right. So many people say that. And it's like, especially lately, because I've really been, promoting that more than I used to, because I had it a while. I really didn't promote it like that compared to some of the other cleansers and detoxes. And so I started having a lot of teachers, like college professors, even just students or just somebody that's had that has a stressful job. And they were just saying how it calmed them down. Even the children with like ADHD and stuff, they were just saying how they felt so calm, and they seen a huge difference in the child's behavior and things like that. So yeah, I've been getting great results from that one.
And it gives you clarity. It gives you clarity.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely can feel a huge difference. You just feel so much alert, and just your mind feels so much sharper.
Especially for me, because I know, because I drink the mushroom coffee. So I'm heavy into the mushrooms. Like I said, I'm into things for my brain. So I find that wherein it took me forever to go around in circles and find my keys or my wallet.
Right.
That I laid down. So it's these little things that we don't think about, And my house is designed so that in certain areas it's a circle. You can go around. You can go down the hall, around in a room, go through the kitchen, come back in another room, and go back around. It's around the hall. So that's a lot what I do when I'm trying to find stuff like my glasses or my keys. I done walked around that circle so many times that I just got frustrated and just said, you know what? I'm just going to sit here until it comes by. So I find that doing this regimen that I've been doing, which is a part of the focus tea, I find that I'm not doing that so much. I actually know where I left that key at.
Right. Right.
where I put that wallet down at. I'm not spending, 5-10 minutes before I leave out the house trying to find something that I know is in a simple place. So that I appreciate about it.
Definitely. Yeah, that's definitely became one of my favorites.
It is, and I call it Einstein tea. Matter of fact, I was talking to one of my clients, and I was telling them I'm getting ready to have some Einstein tea, and I think I was eating a bagel or something. And what is Einstein tea? They had to know, what is Einstein tea. They wanted to know what was in it. What was I said? I don't know what's in it, but I just know it works. It helps with the brain inflammation, and a lot of us don't know we get this way because our brains are inflamed.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the actual truth. And a lot of the things that the way that a lot of us are eating that contribute. It's so many factors, but yeah, that is definitely inflamed.
Yeah, it definitely. So I started looking more into that, especially now that I'm older. I started really looking into stuff that has to do to help my brain, because it's very important to me to save it.
Absolutely, that's the most important.
Especially if you have anything like Alzheimer's that run in your family, dementia,
Right.
and stuff like that. And I find that 90% of Americans do have some type of dementia or Alzheimer's that happens in our families.
Yeah.
Over time, I mean, over time, we're supposed to lose all of this,
Right.
but we
And
don't.
that's the thing. A lot of that, and so like I tell people a lot of times, I look at your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Like 90% of your so-called immune system, or what I call the lymphatic system,
Mm-hmm.
that's your gut. And it's that everybody talk about the brain, but I really look at the gut as the first brain.
Okay.
And so that's where a lot of issues are coming from also.
Yes.
Because with the gut, I have, and for some reason there's a lot of women, but just people in general, but I have people that come to me all the time and, need a colon cleanse and things like that. And I ask them, like, well, how many times you go, in a day? And they like, a day? Like, I'm lucky if I go twice a week. And
What?
so things like that, yeah. So they don't realize when your gut is backed up like that, number one is a breeding ground for parasites. They love filth. So that's where that gut and brain relation comes in. That's why that's so important. And that's where it starts at. And so that's what you're seeing when you're saying like hereditary. What you're seeing is a lot of people that we eat the same way, and these same issues, gut issues that didn't, get diagnosed and things like that, and they just dealt with it, took lots of those out the store and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just goes on, and it's passed down from generation to generation.
That's what I noticed too. It's not just the food we eat; it's things that we do that are passed down generation. We as a people, especially Black people, we're not going to get out of this circle until we break all these generational bad habits and generational curses.
Absolutely.
That we have. And and you are right, it absolutely starts from your gut. When I say brain, but it's the brain reacts off of what you feed it.
Yeah,
and you
and
feed
it's the
it.
same thing with the kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
Like kidneys, when you have trauma, you have fear, depression, things like that weakens the kidneys. So that's why just about everybody that comes to me, that's one of the main issues that has to be addressed is the kidneys, because we've been passed down trauma that's unexplainable.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Why did we put up with that?
Right. I mean, it's just like non-stop trauma from each generation, and stuff that's swept under the rug and things like
Yeah, because the older people, they don't want to say, oh, we ain't gonna say nothing. And you need to know this. Why
Right.
would you hold back this important, vital piece of
Right.
information?
But you know how that is in our families. It's like we gonna let God handle it.
Yeah, well, God said to find someone to help him, to give him
Right.
something. You know what I mean? And we just don't tend to understand that. We always look at things sometimes in such a backwards a backward manner. Things of that sort of stuff. So
Yes.
when we talk about gut health, what goes into our guts, and I just wanted to add a couple of things, and maybe you can comment on them,
Right.
like the seven different types of foods. Like that's the other thing that causes brain inflammation. One of
Mm-hmm.
them is sugary drinks. There was some things that I didn't know about that was
Oh,
causing inflammation in my brain. Things
yeah.
that you wouldn't even think.
Like I tell people, sugar is the worst drug on the planet. And people look at you like, what? Like, because they're thinking about the street drugs.
Yes.
But, like, sugar is pretty much on the same level as cocaine.
Yes, it
so,
is. It is. You ever
so,
tried to quit eating sugar?
yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. So, when you see that when I was speaking on ADHD, every child that I see that's been diagnosed with that, look at what they eat in the morning. The mother or father, or they trying to get to work and get prepared to get out of the door themselves. So the children are eating cereal.
Mm-hmm.
They giving them fruit snacks and Starbursts and Skittles and stuff to take to school. So it's like they already have before they leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like when they get to school, then you got the teacher calling and saying, "Hey, little Johnny can't sit down." Like, yeah, of course, little Johnny had. He can't sit down.
Yes.
And then you expect him to sit down for 8 hours. Like, no,
Yes.
that's not even
And
logic.
listen, that's right.
So,
You are absolutely right
sugar,
there.
yeah, sugar is the worst thing. And I tell people, please stay away from that table sugar. Is that processed sugar will do a number, and that's not the same as fruit sugar. And so that's one of the biggest myths now that people starting to find out. As far as they was always telling people if you're diabetic, you can't eat fruits and things like that, and that's far from the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
the whole diabetic thing needs to be reevaluated on things that you
absolutely,
can and cannot eat, because they are wrong about some
yeah,
things. So
yeah,
what I noticed about sugary things is that when the first of the year for me, it was 2026 coming in, that I decided that I was going to cut off of white sugar,
mm-hmm,
and I haven't. I haven't had. Well, I can't say I had a slice of cake here and there, but that's not that's not how I was using it before. White sugar
yeah,
was everything, my
right,
my little cornflakes in the morning, my coffee, my
right,
tea, just sugar. And I didn't realize just how bad that sugar was causing inflammation in my brain. So when I stopped doing the white sugar, I noticed something about me. So I did the white sugar, I did the tea, the restored the tea that I had gotten from you,
mm-hmm,
watching certain things in my diet, sugary, and it does make a difference. You do
yeah,
get some type of clarity. It does make a difference. And stop eating white sugar, guys, is so simple. I didn't realize how simple it was. Like when people say, "Oh, well, I can't stop eating sugar," but you can, because the only thing you need to do is substitute it. Substitute it with an all natural ingredient.
yeah. And that's that I tell people that you got like date syrup and dates that's good
Mhm.
far as sugar,
Mhm.
like real organic maple syrup, not the little Aunt your mama syrup,
Mhm. Mhm.
but
Mhm.
some real organic maple syrup. But what's more disturbing, and I tell people, start reading your labels.
Mm.
In the grocery store and thing. If you're not in the produce aisle, please start looking on the. I know people look at me like I'm crazy when I'm on the aisle because
Oh
I'm
no.
at the back of the box and I'm like you shouldn't have stuff, and you shouldn't be putting things in your body that got 25 ingredients.
It says it's all natural on the front, right?
Right, and it's like, and the sad part, that's even with the quote unquote plant based and vegan food. It says that on the front, but when you look on the back, the sodium say 600.
Yeah, off the chain.
And then you looking at stuff, and you looking at what I've noticed is it's so many, words that's code for sugar. Of course, like the.
Oh, really? Tell us about some of these codes.
Yeah, so of course, the high fructose corn syrup, you shouldn't be eating nothing or consuming nothing that got that in there. But you have that. You got glucose, solids, and all kind of. Just stuff you can't even pronounce.
Yeah,
you see barley malt and cane sugar, cane syrup. None of that is good. Corn solids, and so this is in all of the products that we consuming, and you realize why you can't stop eating or consuming certain things, and that's another thing. Parasites feed on sugar. They love it.
They do.
Like I said, they feed on filth, but they love sugar. And that's so basically you're just feeding them. And so it's not normal for you to have some donuts on the table and something tell you to get up out of your sleep at 3-4 in the morning and get a donut. That's not you. That's definitely not. That's not you. That's those little critters that's on the inside.
Yeah.
But they really tell us how to think throughout the day. A lot of the stuff that we do, even in relationships, even with anger and violence, and when you see some of these people, some of these mass shootings and all, is some of the time when these people saying, I don't remember, or I heard a voice that said, this stuff go really deep when it comes to these parasites.
Wow. That's really something. So I'm just going to list off a couple of things as far as drinks that cause inflammation in the brain that some people may not have heard of before. Right. So one of them is sparkling water. Sparkling water causes inflammation of the brain. Unsweetened tea. Now you have some people, they think they're doing something by saying, I'll have some unsweetened tea. I know my husband is notorious for saying, unsweetened tea. That causes inflammation of the brain. And vegetable juice causes inflammation of the brain. And unsweetened dairy products. Those dairy products that you think is unsweetened have 0 to none sugar and all of that sort of stuff. That's one of them. That's another one. Now, those are just some drinks that I found that causes inflammation of your brain.
And of course, your sodas. Especially the diet soda.
Oh. I'm going to have a pizza and a Diet Coke.
Yeah, that's the worst thing on the planet. It's like a diet soda. It's like you thinking you doing yourself like some kind of, like you actually helping yourself, but because it says diet, and no, it actually has more sugar.
Wow.
So it's like they know how to play on, the people, by them not knowing and not being aware of certain things like that.
Now, tell us about carbs. I have a list of carbs too, but I want you to tell us about more of the refined carbs that are really just inflammation on the brain.
Yeah, so all of the things like that, all of your starches, like you said when you spoke on the white sugar, it's the same thing with like white rice, white potatoes. One of the more popular, the more healthier options, like with potatoes, is purple potatoes. But they are so hard to find.
And probably going to be very expensive.
Very expensive. Even like when you get a little bag, I'm talking about the little they so small, but you're gonna pay more for those than you'll pay for like a 7 or 10 pound bag of white potatoes and things like that.
It's time to get some seeds.
Absolutely. And I tell people like that's the most important right now is finding you some farmers or people, or starting your own garden.
It is. It's really good, and of course, the examples are good. Everyone know pastries that light on at the Krispy Kreme
Right.
donut
Right.
place.
Right.
The
And then
ones.
you think about it. You think of going back to Parasite.
Uh,
You think that line wrapped around the building that Krispy Kreme like that at all times for no reason? Like that's
They're in
something
control. They're controlling you because
yeah.
a Krispy Kreme donut, if you get it warm, it practically melts in your mouth. You could take 2 bites of that donut and it'll be gone. Before you know it, you done
Right.
ate a whole donut without thinking about it while you're reaching for your second donut. Because
Right.
that first one hasn't completely satisfied you yet. It was so good you want more. Before you know it, you done consumed 3 or 4 donuts just there in a row.
Right. And so something else that a lot of people don't know. Our body really was designed for fruit sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And some of course vegetables too.
Mm-hmm.
Um but everything that you eat, your body tries to find the sugar in it, the fruit sugar in it, and break it down that way. That's the only thing your body really can use. Everything else is waste. So that's the problem is a lot of times we're eating and consuming the wrong sugar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I tell people, I've had people do like fruit fasts and things like that. I've done them myself. And a lot of your issues go completely away. Especially if you was going through constipation, you will definitely not be constipated no more dealing with fruits. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they will definitely get you to going. But,
Yes.
like you said something about, like carbs, but same thing with that, we consuming the wrong carbs.
Yeah. The
Different
pastries.
grains
Yeah.
and things. They are healthier options. Like you have, quinoa. A lot of people love chickpeas and lentils and things like that. They are a lot better than consuming a lot of the different rice and things like that, and potatoes and just things like that. So that's definitely another avenue to look at. Just looking at healthier grains,
Mm-hmm.
even down to your flour.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people now starting to use chickpea flour or quinoa flour
Mm-hmm.
or things like that. It's a lot better for the body. Your body can break it down easier.
Mm-hmm. And you can have
Even,
that, sustain that long life and be sharp as a whip. Now you find, I know with my grandmother, God rest her soul, but she had selective hearing. They said she had dementia. It wasn't no
Right.
doggone dementia because she would talk about things that happened when I was a baby.
Right.
She remembered what she wanted to remember. She had selective memory and selective hearing. Because she's already been labeled as dementia, why not act like you don't know what a person is talking about? I know if someone came up to me and they diagnosed with some type of form of dementia, and someone came up to me talking about something that I didn't want to hear or respond to, and they already know that I'm having some dementia problem, I'm gonna act like I don't know what they're talking about. Where am I?
Right.
Who am I?
No, that's true. That's definitely, and that happens all the time. They so quick to diagnose people with things like that, and a lot of the things is so preventable and it is reversible,
Mm-hmm.
but it takes it takes work.
Yeah.
And we can't keep, especially my church folks, you can't keep praying away stuff when your plate look the same.
All the time they talk about other things. They talk about that. So what
Yeah.
about another one is trans fat. Trans fat. That's trans fat. Now that's a type of unsaturated fat that can cause an impact in your health. And a lot
Right.
of that is things that we don't realize, like shortening. Like, Popeye's cooking that chicken and shortening. Okay, not
Mm-hmm.
only margarine. Margarine, I hate margarine. I do not like margarine. I don't care how much the cost of butter is. I'll always use a tab of butter
Right.
because it's healthier. For margarine, it's nothing but cold lard, cold
Right.
grease. Just think,
Right.
frosting. Your frostings on your cake, your
Yeah.
fruit snacks, snack
Yeah.
foods, your
Yeah.
ready-made cakes, the cakes that are already made, like the ding
Yeah.
dongs and the
Your
ho
cakes,
hos
your ice cream, your
and the
cereals,
prepackaged food. Yeah.
yeah, bread, yeah, of course your pastries and things like that from the bakery, the fries everybody
Mhm.
loves.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, it's a lot. I mean, we just have to start educating ourselves, and we have to want better, and we got to start doing better.
Yes. And we have I got a list. So I'm going to go the list quickly, so we
Mm-hmm.
can talk about other things. But ultra processed food, ultra
Oh man,
processed foods.
yeah. And I always go back to that. Like that includes plant based and vegan food. I have so many people. So for me, I haven't eaten meat, dairy, none of that in like 11 years. No fish, no nothing.
You
And
haven't. Well, what do you eat and actually
I,
get
I
full off of?
I eat fresh foods like that's so. So when you stop eating meat, you have to come up with what's going to be a replacement for you.
Mhm.
So a lot of people are big on mushrooms. That's pretty much my meat. Like I'm a mushroom. I hated mushrooms growing. You couldn't pay me to eat a mushroom. So, but you have things like oyster mushroom, lion's mane mushrooms, chicken of the woods mushrooms. Like, and when you the healthy flour that I mentioned, and things like avocado oil, natural canola oil, natural Crisco. But when you do that and you make a wet and a dry batter, it gives you that chicken taste. And so that's why you go to a lot of the vegan restaurants around here. That's what they serve. Most of them will have like oyster mushrooms. A lot of people substitute jackfruit.
Mhm.
Um, so it's like it's a lot of things, but it's like again that it goes back to that people think because something is vegan or something is plant based that it's healthy. And like I said, the sodium is one thing, but you gotta stop eating the processed vegan and plant based food because
Mhm.
the Beyond Burgers and all that. That's not help. You might as well keep eating meat
Yeah,
like that.
you might as well,
Like
because
it's not helping you.
I don't even know what a Beyond Burger is. Once my grandson asked for when Burger King had that unknown burger, and he
Right?
would say, "Oh, I want one of them." I said, "You don't know what you're eating.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
don't know what you're
you
eating."
gotta listen to the wordplay.
Mm-hmm.
Impossible Burger or Beyond Burger. Like that already don't even sound right to
They
me.
don't even. I know it don't even sound right. So some of your ultra processed foods, for those that may not, that may be wondering, what is an ultra processed foods? You have your chips, those potato chips. That I'm notorious for that. I'll sit at my desk and eat some potato chips, but I'll only eat a little bit of them because I won't sit there and eat the whole bag and stuff like that. You have
Right.
your sweets. You got your deli meats, the
Oh yeah.
the Little Johns, the Subway, and I don't know who told you guys Subway was actually healthy for you.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
they
You
think
just
to
gotta all you gotta do is look up their what they've been sued for and things like that, and you'll get all your ounces.
yeah. Well, I don't eat Jersey Mike's because we eat Subway. It's the same thing. You might as well go ahead and grab you something with some taste to it if you're gonna do it.
Right. Go spend
get,
more money.
get you a Jersey
Don't spend
Mike.
that extra $5, $7.
Yeah. So your instant noodles, which is a lot of things that kids eat because you got
Yeah.
parents that don't want to
Cook.
cook, so they
Yeah.
oodles and noodles for their kids.
Yeah.
You got microwave popcorn. That popcorn that you microwave and you're sitting back watching TV, that's an ultra processed food. Um,
Yeah.
some of the store-bought sauces that you may use, the sauces and the gravies, ready-made meals and frozen pizzas.
Right.
Those things are all processed food. That you can eat, that you eat.
Yeah.
Now you have an artificial sweetener called aspartame. Aspartame. I was
Yeah,
trying to think.
aspartame. Yeah,
It's
that's like in your sodas and stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it
that.
is an FDA approved sweetener,
Yeah,
but it's bad for your brain.
yeah. Like that's the scary part. It's like you have to look at who approving our food. Who's approving medication. That's a even deeper rabbit hole. But that's scary just in itself. The stuff that's approved.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and I
Mhm.
tell people, so I have to say this because this is always funny to me, and it happens when I do pop ups and stuff all the time. People will come and say, "Well, what's in it?" And I find that I used to be offended when people ask me that
Mhm.
because the reason why don't you ask your doctor that?
Mhm.
Why don't you ask your doctor what's in your medication? Because if you did, you wouldn't even take it no more if you really research them 15 ingredients that's in your medication.
They don't
You
want to
wouldn't
tell
dare
you.
put it in your mouth no more.
Yeah, they won't tell you. They don't want to tell you, which is the next subject I want us to talk about. But let's get through this now. This type of sweetener
Mm-hmm.
that most people don't realize is that even a pack of it can contain up to 40 milligrams of this aspartame. How do you pronounce it? Aspartame.
Yeah, it's
Aspartame.
like aspartame or something like that.
Aspartame. Yeah, which
Yeah,
is which is equivalent to having a can of soda.
yeah,
It's equivalent to have a can of soda. Around 125 milligrams of the stuff that you're using, and it causes learning difficulties,
yeah,
irritability,
yeah,
anxiety, stress,
yeah.
depression.
And
Those.
so that's another avenue too is heavy metals. So
Mhm.
like heavy metal detoxes are so important, especially right now. Because
Mhm.
like I said, your water, even if you got a filter on your shower and stuff
Mhm.
like that, you can't stop it all.
That's right. You
And so
can't.
just the environment in general, the pollution and things like that, it's like heavy metals is everywhere. It's in a lot
Mhm.
of the food.
Mhm.
So
We
that's
have.
another thing when you look at children
Yes.
that's going through ADHD, or you look at our elders that's going through dementia and things like that. The first thing you're gonna realize is how many heavy metals they have on the brain.
Mm. That's it.
So that's why that's very important. Doing heavy metal detoxes, that's very important.
It is. It is. It's so important because a lot of the stuff that they have given um, the military and other people with depression, these pills are causing people to go crazy. I remember
Yeah.
about a long time ago that
Mm-hmm.
when I started becoming an empty nester, when you become an empty nester, and if you don't have anything to keep you occupied, you can start feeling some type of way about your life, your family. They don't need you no more. What do you do? What good are you? What can you do? And stuff like that. Even though I've always had skills that can, what I call skills that can pay the bills. Even though I've
Right.
always had skills that can pay the bills, is something that being an empty nester, being used to having your children depend on you or to ask you questions and stuff like that. Now they got their own life. They don't even ask you for your advice. They ask their stupid friend, like the friend got. So, you know what I mean? So you kind of feel left out. But anyway, I was going through something like that. And I went to see a psychiatrist, and they had diagnosed me with depression. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel depressed because I felt that I was a happy person. But, some things in the past and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, all boiled down to depression. and they put me on these pills. And I took these pills. It's called cerebum or something like that. And it worked. I was happy. Everything great. And a couple of months went by, and I called my therapist, the rapist, for your money. I called them and I said, you know what? I don't think I need this pill anymore because I'm feeling fine. I'm back to me. And, and she was like, yeah, okay. I said, maybe I just need something every so often to calm down my anxiety when that kicks in or something like that. Something I could take to just calm myself down. And she was like, yeah, okay. So after a couple of weeks of being off this medication that I had been on for, I think maybe almost a year. I hadn't been on it for years and stuff like that. I started realizing that I felt violent. I felt angry. I was angry. I was violent. And, I had to do something. I couldn't keep still. And I didn't understand where it was coming from. I really didn't. I didn't understand where where this type of feeling was coming from, where I was just angry. I wanted to hurt somebody, just angry out the blue. And these are some of the things that the guys go through that are on several brain medications and stuff.
Right.
So I realized that, hey, maybe this stuff is leaving your system. It's out of your system now because you haven't had it in a few weeks. And this was the result. So when I called back the rapist, she said to come back in. They were going to put me on something else. So I forget what it is. I don't remember what it is now, but they put me on one of them brain medications, and I started taking them, and then I realized, I said, you're falling more into this. You're falling into a pattern that you're going to need this stuff.
Yeah, you're going to become dependent.
Yeah, and if you don't have it, you already experienced a little bit of it. I don't know what I might do. So I stopped. So I said, you know what? I'm going to depend on prayer. I'm going to rely on prayer and ask Jesus to help me to get through this, and he did. And I have not touched those pills. They're still full in the container. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to take my life this way. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
So when you talk about those things, those sugar and stuff and inflammation of the brain, that really, really touch bases with me. The other thing is alcohol, something that we consume. Some of us consume it every day, and some of us consume it every weekend in big amounts that we don't need to consume it every day because we drink enough of the weekend to cover Monday through Friday.
Yeah, it definitely destroys brain cells. That's a fact. Yeah, alcohol. You have to think of what is alcohol. It's a poison.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why sometimes people drink until they throw up and things like it's like your body's basically purging it because it's a poison.
Mm-hmm. It is a poison, and we don't. That's why people go crazy. That's why they fight each other. They fuss. They get themselves into situations that they can't get out of it, and it's a sugar. So just like you said, with the sugar,
I was just about to ask you, and what else does it have in it?
It has the sugar, which is addictive. That's why those alcoholics.
Even your cigarettes,
nicotine. Yes, nicotine is addictive. Yeah,
they have you all the way around the board when it comes to sugar.
They do. They got that mind.
It's in things that you would never believe or imagine that it was in, but it's in everything.
It's in everything. Now, the last one I have is fish that's high in mercury.
Yeah,
fish is high in mercury.
I tell people, so people ask me all the time, you don't even eat fish? And I tell people, they ask like, well, why is fish bad? And I'm like, it's not so much that it's bad. It's just like you have to be careful because, especially the water over here. it's like the mercury levels are so high
Mm-hmm.
that it was a lady not too long ago. She was having migraines every single day. They couldn't, and she went to every doctor. She went through just about everything you could go through, and they could not figure out what the issue was. And so she went to a holistic doctor, and they recommended her to do a heavy metal detox.
Mm-hmm.
And the headaches instantly went away.
Wow.
But that's what it ended up being. She had so many metals on her brain that it was giving her like severe migraines all the time, every day, all day long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing with fish and just a lot of seafood in general is that it's the mercury that makes it bad, and then of course with us with
Yeah.
us it's the seasoning.
Yes. See, I'm not into highly seasoned food. I'm just because I like to taste,
Right.
the taste of the meat. Like if I have a good beef, like I don't think I could be vegan because I like protein. I like to
Mm-hmm.
have my beef. I like to have a good piece of beef and stuff. Not saturated with a whole bunch of different seasonings, a little bit of salt, pepper, and of course tenderizer because I don't know what kind of meat we've eaten today. And then
Right.
and everything needs tenderized. I never thought I had to tenderize chicken until this you got to tenderize your chicken. You don't eat me, so you can't relate with me, but
No,
it's
but I see enough people.
yes,
I see it enough.
it's enough. Yeah, so I like a good piece of beef without all of the seasonings. Maybe some salt, pepper. Flip it in some butter. And put some onions on the side or something like that. That's good for me.
And that's
So
funny that you say that because most people, I tell people, I'm like, y'all, I joke with them, be like, you ain't no real meat eater, and I joke with them, be like, you would eat it as is, fur, bones, and all.
ah.
But no, seriously, on a serious note, though, I tell people what it is. We addicted to the seasonings.
Mm.
That's where everything. Even most people, even when they eat in salads, they'll put some kind of seasoning up there other than salad dressing or their olive oil or whatever they use. But that's really what it is when it comes to meat. It's the seasonings that everybody really addicted to more than the meat.
And see, I don't
And
like heavy saturated seasonings on my meat. I just don't.
yeah, yeah, that's odd. Y'all don't hear too many people say that, so
No,
that's interesting.
like even when I fry chicken, like I'm gonna look into those new flours that you were saying, but even when I fry my chicken, I have two types of oil in my house. One oil is called the seasoned oil. That's the one where my kids and my husband may have cooked something and highly seasoned, used the garlic and the onion powder and all this sort of stuff and fried it up. Yeah, and it's that grease that's called seasoned oil, and then there's just my plain oil. In that plain oil, nothing goes in that oil but what has salt and pepper on it, or nothing. I just keep that. That's my pure oil. So that's that's the oil that I'll use to fry my chicken, to make French fries. I don't like seasoned salt and stuff on my French. I just don't like things that are over seasoned. I like to get the taste of my food.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And then of course, that's the other thing is just salt in general. That's another, the table salt. And so that's why now you have a lot more people that's doing, the pink lemon, Himalaya
Yes,
salt,
the pink salt.
sea salt, and things like that. It's a young lady. I don't know if people familiar like with the Portsmouth Farmers Market. There's a young lady that has like all natural seasonings out there, and when I tell you that's all I use now, none of her seasonings, and I'm talking about she got Obey, like any kind of seasoning you can imagine, she has it. Cajun, Creole, none of her seasonings have no salt, but the flavor of it is just so good.
I'm gonna have to find out who she is and get her on
Yeah,
to
it's
interview.
dot seasoning, like DOT.
DOT.
But like they I go there and spend plenty of money. Like my whole spice rack is all her seasonings.
All her seasonings. Wow, that sounds interesting. I'm definitely gonna have to look her up. So,
Yeah.
but just to make people aware of some of the fish that are high in mercury, you got your shark, you got your king mackerel. A lot of people like mackerel, especially here in Virginia. You
Oh
got your
yeah.
towelfish. I don't even know what towelfish is.
Yeah, I was
Swordfish.
about to ask you that.
I don't know what that is. You got your swordfish, and you have your tuna. And a lot of that is surprising with tuna because a lot of us never thought of tuna. You know, we eat, a lot of people just eat fish. I only eat fish, but what type of fish do you eat? Now, the
Right.
fish that you may consider to include in your fish diet, salmon, which I love salmon, anchovies, sardines, Pacific oysters, trout, tilapia, shrimp, catfish, crab, and flounder. Be careful your tilapia because I heard you could grow them in your bathtub.
I kind of cringed when you said that. I was like, do I tell her now or later?
No, you could breed tilapia right in your bathtub.
Yo, that's hilarious. Not the bathtub. No, but that's actually the truth. You actually can, and that's what's really going on now is so many things are being farmed that you couldn't imagine, and tilapia is definitely one of. I mean, you got to think about it. Everybody, grandparents, grandfathers and uncles and stuff used to fish back in the day. I've never seen nobody catch a tilapia ever in my life. Have I ever?
So
seen
where did it come from? It's a man-made fish.
That's a good question.
Let me see.
And that's the thing. People just have hijacked everything. That's even down to the sea moss. And something that's supposed to be healthy. You have a lot of people that's farming sea moss. And so now those 92 and 100 minerals that everybody telling them that they sea moss have really got about 20 minerals.
Yeah, I think that sea moss is it's another one.
Yeah, you definitely have to be definitely careful with the source. It has to be somebody trustworthy because a lot of people are definitely selling farm sea moss and it's really high in sodium. You can see the salt on it. So
Yeah.
it's definitely that's definitely a huge thing. But I tell people you definitely no matter what you do. I used to be the drill sergeant. When people would come to me and they was going through an illness or something, as far as the diet, I'm a little more lenient now because I see better results when I try to meet people where they are. It's kind of hard to tell somebody that's eating steak and shrimp every day to eat all fruits or eat a raw diet.
Yeah, it is. It is. Because
There's something I will say. Sometimes you in fight or flight mode to where they giving you a month or two to live. Now you better leave all that other stuff alone. But just when somebody come and they want to full body detox, just to reset their body or whatever, I try to tell people just choose healthier options. You're trying to purge the old stuff out of the body, so you don't want to be using grease and oils because you're trying to get that out. So at least if you're gonna do meats and things like that, try to do grill or bake.
Yeah,
I try to help people with that. But the main thing is just detox. Like that's the key. Like, cause I don't care if you're eating all healthy. Still, if you're not detoxing, I tell people detox 4 times a year. So once for each season. And you do that like once for each season, then you pretty much gonna be good to go anyway, no matter how you eat. And I tell people with that, I tell people with colon cleanses, you want to do at least twice a year. Parasite cleanses, you want to do twice a year at least. Now that's starting to be more because people just on parasite overload.
yes, and they're on everything in overload, especially these detox. Because women are using them to lose weight, and they're taking these detox every day. You know, it's like they're detoxing daily. I'm detoxing. So if your body is used to, if you get your body used to detoxing every day, okay, when you reach your weight that you wanted to go down to, you're not detoxing every day anymore.
Right.
So you got like a double build because the body is used to detoxing.
Right.
So now you reach the weight that you want. You haven't detoxed in weeks.
Right. Right. And that's the thing. Like everybody now, and it's just we live in a time where everything is a quick fix. Everybody want a quick fix, and it's like nobody wants to put the work in.
Yeah,
And
that's
I tell
it.
people, it's no quick fixes when it comes to health. Like you can try to take shortcuts and stuff like that, but it'll be revealed to you soon.
It definitely will. The body
gotta
has
put
a
in the work.
way of revealing
you
itself.
you gotta put in the work. We have so many people, and I'm talking about people that actually have ample time to go to the gym
Mm-hmm.
or to walk around the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
They just put in their mind like, I'm just gonna use a Ozempic or something and do it that way.
Yeah, they have this stuff over the counter now. People could take shots, So you sit there, and I've seen pregnant women just eat everything, get huge, and then when after they had a baby, they take the shot. That's not.
But the thing is, that's why people come into me with pancreas issues because you taking a Ozempic and a thing like that, you won't diabetic. You won't even borderline diabetic. You were just overweight and you lazy.
And metformin. That's the other thing they take. Yeah, that's it.
And the thing is, now your insulin levels is all out of whack from taking this for so long. Now, now they telling you, hey, we need to take part of your pancreas out. Hey, we need to do this. It's like now they want to remove stuff. So
yeah, that's it.
This stuff is so many things that's avoidable, and that's another thing we got to stop. That remember the game back in the day? What was it? Operation. We got to stop letting people play that with us.
Yes.
Like if it was put on your body, God put it there for a reason. It means you need it.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been told now, oh, you don't need your gallbladder. Oh, you don't need your spleen. Oh, you don't. When I was little, it was the tonsils. Everybody was getting their tonsils taken out.
Mm-hmm.
And now, they went from that to gallbladder.
That's
spleens and they telling you these things. Oh, it don't do nothing. You don't need it. Well, what the hell is it on my body for?
Why did God put it there?
It had to do something.
Just to take up space.
Right. It's just like it don't make sense. We have to just stop letting people tell us anything, and we just believe it and just go and let them do it.
Exactly. I've noticed that a lot of people just go by what those doctors say and take these unnecessary procedures, unnecessary operations. Some things you can live with. Some things that you can live with. Some things you can live with instead of getting a procedure, because most likely that procedure somewhere down the line is going to lead to another procedure. If not immediate, then somewhere down the line. And that procedure that they're going to do to fix this is like the person with the mouse in the house. Okay, she get the cat to eat the mouse, to get the mouse out the house. Now she got a cat problem, So she brings in the dog to get the cat. You know what I mean? That's how I see those operational procedures. It just leads from one thing to another. Before you know it, you got problems, and I've witnessed this in some of my friends because I'm older.
Yeah.
I've seen it in younger people too, but mainly in older people where they say, "Oh, and the doctor said I can't do this, and I need somebody come help me." I said, "Lord, please don't let me be like this."
Right, and it's amazing that it's starting to be so many, like you say, young people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about people in their early 20s, and they, I see them at pop-ups and stuff, and they ask them about products, and they say, well, I had my gallbladder removed, and I'm like, damn, they a baby.
Mm.
It's like it's just amazing, and they don't realize or maybe they're not told, your liver can't even function properly without your gallbladder.
Yes, you is it one
I mean,
problem?
and the liver does so many things, over 500 and some different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so the liver already on toxic overload because all of your bath and body, all of your polo cologne that everybody love to spray on their neck and on their skin, all that goes straight to your liver. Any chemical, any medicine, any medication that's not a herb,
Mm-hmm.
it goes straight to your liver. So it's like you can see how easy it is for the liver to be backed up.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't have your gallbladder, the liver got to work a million times harder
Now,
just to function.
now, if you want to detox your liver, what would, how often
I would
would that
definitely
be?
say that's another thing you can do twice a year.
Detox your
Uh,
liver?
yeah, especially in today, because it's like I said, it's just everybody on toxic overload, and a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So your skin is your largest organ,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and just the things that people put on their skin alone is affecting them. Um, even like
You mean
what I
like my
thought.
Chanel is affecting me? My Chanel #5 that I've been using for eons.
Yeah, look, hey, spray it on your shirt or your jacket or something. Don't put it on your skin. But I remember even during the pandemic, I've seen some of the, how can I put it? I seen some stuff that just, there's no way you could have been using logical sense. So I seen everybody, of course, everybody had their masks on and everybody was in panic mode. But I'm seeing people, I remember the summertime, and I seen people with their masks on, people had gloves on. But then you would look at a young lady that got this on and she got booty shorts on. She got a half a shirt on, and I'm seeing like, so all your skin out,
Mm-hmm.
but you covering your nose and your hands.
That's something we don't think about that.
Like, I realized, like, man, we get in panic mode and just don't use no part of our brain at all.
I am very protective of my skin. I am a nut when it comes to skincare because my mother instilled that in us before we were teenagers, you know. So
Right.
I've grown up with learning how to take care of your skin, and I'm very big on that. Very big on. I don't like overexposure to my skin. I don't care if it looks good. This is my skin, and when it comes to my skin and intimacy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I want my skin to look and feel a certain way from my mate. I can't do that if I don't take
Right.
care of myself.
Right.
If you don't
And
take
that's
care
the
of that,
thing, it has to, and that starts on it, everybody, they go to dermatologists, they do all these creams, lotions, but the problem on the inside,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
that's the
Yes,
problem.
yes, you
People
have to
always
do
say,
that.
what you have for eczema? And it's like, one of the first things I'm going to tell you, clean your gut. A colon cleanse. that's what I got.
Yes, that they don't realize that. But I want to say something before we go any further, and about the tilapia, because I had looked it
Mm-hmm.
up to see if it was really existing. Because I like tilapia, and I'm just like, and I try not to think about this bathtub thing when I'm eating a piece of tilapia. But it is a fish. It originated in the Nile. It's in Africa, in the Middle East. So if you want some good tilapia, you probably gonna have to travel Middle East to know that maybe it's not bred in a tub.
Yeah, and
So
I can promise you they water is way cleaner
so it comes out of Indonesia, Egypt, Latin America. They grows in over they breed in over 135 different countries. So it is a fish. It is a fish. It is a real fish. And that made me feel good because I was just like, oh my god, because I love tilapia. It's like a meat. It's a meaty fish, and it fills you
than.
up. And that's what, and it's a white fish, so it definitely fills you up. But but back to the skin thing, yeah. Most people don't realize what they do to their skin. They just They just don't. We don't take care of our skin the way we should, and we
Right.
started from a young age, you know,
Yeah. That's
and
very true.
of not taking care of it. And now when we're older, you have these problems. You got skin like leather, and and but to we get our skin problems, but not as much as white people, you know.
Mm.
With white people, because they like to tan and sit out in that sun, their skin, by the time they're a certain age, their skin is just rough. You could
Yeah,
take it and
but
make a
on the flip
suitcase.
side, that's another thing that's hurting us. So I'll just use like vitamin D as an
Mhm.
example.
Mhm.
When you look at black people lab work,
Mhm.
especially with women, the first thing you're gonna see that they deficient in is iron. Which of course women have cycles, so you lose more iron. So that's why most of the time when you see people that's anemic and low iron, it's women, but
Mhm.
but black women definitely.
Mhm. Mhm.
But vitamin D level, I never realized like how much until I go to like beaches. I never realized how much that black people are now scared of the sun. Like I'm serious. Like you go to the beach on a Sunday and the whole beach is full of white people in the sun, and it's like you don't see no black people soaking up that sunlight, and they don't realize a lot of the illnesses that you going through.
Yep.
The sun is your best friend,
Yep.
and
Yep. Yep.
even with your
Yep.
vitamin D3, supplements in the store,
Mhm.
it's synthetic. So you're not getting the real vitamin D that the sun has, or your mushrooms have. So that's another
Mhm.
reason that when I was talking about medicinal mushrooms, things like the lion's mane, reishi mushroom, turkey tail mushroom, those mushrooms are full of vitamin D,
Mhm.
and that's real vitamin D that God made.
Big God me. Yeah. Yeah. We do. A lot of us don't. We don't want to tan. So
And it's like people that say like I come out, it's hot out here. I come out like 10, 11 o'clock.
Uh huh.
It's like people
Yeah.
don't even want to go outside.
A lot of
And I'm
the
like, wait a
females.
minute. I'm sitting here like, wait a minute. Didn't y'all say y'all were from Africa?
No, they don't want to. They don't. They don't want to. We're too busy trying to bleach our skin behind the scenes.
Oh
Do you
yeah, there's a
understand that?
lot of
We are,
that.
especially the female, we are too
Yeah, there's a
busy
lot of that.
trying to bleach our skin behind the scenes. We don't want to
Yeah,
get in the sun because we don't want to become darker. Because
yeah,
we have been bred in our minds
right,
that being dark is being ugly.
right,
We have been bred not only from the white people separating us because the lighter ones was in the house and they put the darker ones out in the field and stuff like that,
right.
and the lighter ones had more privileges than the darker ones. We go from that slave mentality to here it is today, and it has a lot to do with our men as well, because a lot of
Yeah,
the men, especially on videos, have chosen the white person, the Hispanic, or the lighter skin black. You don't
right.
really see a dark skinned black. Like I saw a picture of the new edition. They was doing this interview and they were taking camera, and all of them had a woman with them. And I'm just looking at the women, and I realized not one of them is dark.
Yeah.
Not one of them
You
is
see
of the
that.
darker complexion.
You see it in her. You see it in entertainment. You see it in
Mm-hmm.
sport.
Yep.
Definitely in sports.
Yes.
All
Yes.
you gotta do is just look at the different. Just look at the different drafts, the NBA draft, the
Mm-hmm.
NFL draft, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll definitely see that firsthand.
Yep.
So that's
First thing it
definitely.
is that they're either white or light, and as black women, we see this. We
Mm-hmm.
see this, so we like, oh, okay, well, if that's the case, so if I lighten my skin, I would get better choices, or I would, find men that are attracted to me because my skin is lighter. Because even Chris Brown did it. Even Chris Brown was like that in his videos until they
Mm-hmm.
started talking about him, and then he put one dark girl in there. But
Right.
he doesn't. He's black. Your mama's black, but you
Right.
don't want to be with a black woman. What does that say about your mama?
Yeah.
It just.
Yeah. We got so much conditioning, man. It's
Mhm.
just been it's been put upon us. It's we have to do like some deep meditation and deep just thinking, because we definitely been dealt a crazy hand.
Yes. And we come in so many variety of colors. There
Yeah.
is not any race that comes in more variety of colors than the black than the black people. We come in
Absolutely.
so many variety of colors that I had to teach my like I had three girls, three different complexions. Okay,
Mm.
my middle child was dark. She was the darkest one, and I realized that um, she's probably gonna have some problems. She's probably gonna. So I taught her to be confident about herself,
Right.
and she's very confident woman, very confident. Even in school and high school, her confidence. I built up her confidence level to prepare her for what was out there.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do that. So that's another reason why we don't go in the sun. A lot of black women we don't want a tan. But that sun feels so good when it touches your skin. You don't have to stay out there and tan. You could just
Yeah.
go out there for what? 10 minutes,
Yeah. Yeah.
5 minutes
Yeah.
of
Just
sun.
and just walk. And I tell people, like, when people ask about exercise, I'm like, man, you don't have to be in the gym, doing all of these
Yes.
crazy exercises. Like, just walk.
That's
Like, walking is the easiest, most effective thing, especially when it's hot. Like, it's perfect because you're gonna get a good sweat.
mm-hmm.
You get in direct sunlight,
Mm-hmm.
and you helping your breathing and your heart rhythm,
That's
and I
right.
mean,
That's
it's
right.
helping you all the way around.
It took me a long time to realize that. It took me a
Yeah.
long time because I was one of them exercise buffs. I didn't have an ounce of fat on my body when I reached a certain age. As an adult, when I was a kid, I was a little chubby, but as an adult, I didn't have not 1 ounce of fat on my body, and I made sure of it because I was, heavy as a teenager. When I mean heavy, I mean a size 14. I never went up to the 22s, and I'm talking about like the heaviest was a 14 for me.
Right.
Um, but uh, but I used to exercise like crazy. I used to dance, do these jazz dancing, exercising like crazy, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then only to find out as I got older, gravity says, I don't care what you did. So now that I'm sick of fighting the masses and doing all these crazy exercises and all this sort of crazy stuff, walk. I need
Yeah.
something. I need something that's good for my heart. Walk. I need something. I need to just keep myself toned somewhat. Walk. I don't even do these exercises. And my daughter had came to me one day. She said, "Oh, I bought this video called Maniac something. It's an exercise." I said, "Oh no, you tell me I want you to. We could do it together." I said, "No, you could do it. My days of doing that is done. I'm done. Only thing I'm taking care of right now is this thing that's beating inside my chest, my heart and my brain. My
Right.
heart, my brain, and my skin are the most important things to me right now. Not getting out doing some vigorous exercise that's gonna make me sweat. Then I'm gonna be all musty and stinking, and then just to turn around and find out that I can't even eat a burger because I done did all this exercise. You go eat a burger. What good was it?
Right.
It takes you an hour or two in the gym to lose 300 calories if you're walking on a treadmill or something like that. And it takes you 2 minutes to eat a burger and get it right back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The food choices is essential. That's definitely the truth.
so and it's really odd the way it works. How Why we have to work out so hard to burn calories, and when we can just sit down and blow all that with a milkshake or even just a soda or a certain
Yeah.
juice. That's it. We don't put that 300 pounds back.
Put it right back.
Yeah, we put it right back. So, but before we got about 15 minutes left, and I'm really, really enjoying my conversation with you. So, I want to touch bases real quick on the pharmaceutical industry and how it's feeling about these healthy choices and people like you that are putting, um, introducing herbs and other ways that people can take care of themselves and restore some
Yeah.
of the unhealthy things that are in their body. So,
Yeah. So
go ahead.
it's definitely yeah. It's like we are enemy number one. Yeah, so that's why, like, for me, I stay low key. Like, I don't want the fame. You don't see me around on TV with people and different celebrities and movie stars. Nah, you won't see me with them. So, it's just one of them things to where that that's a huge industry money wise. I mean, it's like if this person can keep writing you a prescription for the next 40 years,
Yeah.
like, I think that outweighs somebody giving you a detox or a certain cleanse to take, and and then it's gone.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's the real issue is, and we have to ask ourselves that, like, did God really put me here to be on medication since my 20s, and now I'm 80 years old, and I'm still on the same medication?
Mhm.
But and that's another funny question I get, the how long question. Somebody come
How
like,
long
man,
does it take?
my
People
liver
we want
going
a quick
bad.
fix.
Yeah, they'll come and like, my liver going bad, so they get a liver cleanse. Well, how long is it gonna take? And I'm like, why didn't you ask that doctor that you've been taking that them liver enzymes and all this liver
Mhm.
medication for 40 years? Why give me the same grace you
That's
gave him?
right.
But that's the thing is, people, they definitely ask those questions, and I tell anybody, if you don't worry about the how long, because you won't worry about that with the regular pharmaceutical medicine. Just be consistent. Be consistent. If it call for a diet change or anything like that, make better food choices. But just be consistent and don't worry about how long. And it'll be such a easier transition for you. Because a lot of times the mind is so powerful, you give up because you start overthinking and thinking about, man, I've been taking these herbs for 2 months, man. It ain't working, but yet you've been taking some for 40 years, and
Yeah, but
you
they
still
don't.
taking it.
I don't think they notice. I don't. I think the change is such a subtle change until you really sets in. Like for me to take a natural product, I don't expect to see any results from that natural product until about 3 4 weeks in.
Yeah, a lot of and some things are different. Some
Hmm.
things you will feel faster, but a lot of things
Like the
it do
focus tea.
take. Yeah, yeah. A lot of things it do take a little while for it to get in your system
Hmm.
and
Yes,
your body to start utilizing it.
that's right.
Some stuff you can use like ashwagandha or like
Hmm.
is another one, to where with Silogen you'll start notice, if you getting the real Silogen, you'll notice like energy immediately.
Hmm.
In the next couple of days, you'll notice that you got that energy drink feeling without the crash.
Hmm.
And so that
And what is
some
that?
things are like that, but then Silogen,
Schiller. How you spell that?
it's Shilajit.
IT. Do you sell
And it's
that?
funny, yeah.
Hmm.
And that's
Okay.
funny because that's been around a long time, and it's funny how when everything hits TikTok, the price skyrockets or the availability, it becomes a lot harder. But it's been around forever, but it's like a big thing now.
It is. Is it expensive? Because that's another thing. To eat healthy is not cheap. It's
Yeah.
not cheap at all. It's cheaper to eat unhealthy than it is to
Well,
eat healthy.
I tell people, like, so for me, I spend way more less money now at the grocery store, and I go to the international store a lot too, like for my mushrooms and
Yeah,
my seeded grapes and things like that.
yeah.
But I actually spend less money than when I was eating meat
Mm.
on it. And so
Well, the
here's the
cost of
difference.
meat is ridiculous. You seen the cost of meat? That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
But so here's the difference. People say, well, eating plant-based or vegan is like expensive. No, it's not. It's actually cheap. If you do your shopping, where 90% of your shopping, if you're a plant-based or vegan, should be in produce. It's not expensive. Cucumbers not expensive. Bell peppers, romaine lettuce.
Where
None of
you
that stuff.
shopping at that's not expensive? That stuff
That's
is
not,
expensive as all heck.
that's not expensive. They got cucumbers some for like 79. I mean 79 cents.
Mm.
But the thing is, when you eating back when we was talking about processed stuff, the processed vegan food or plant-based food is high. It's pretty much like the price of meat.
Wow. Yeah.
And so that's the difference. It's like, yeah, the processed food is really high.
Okay. Now, before we go, I'm probably gonna have you back again in a couple of months to pick your brain for the fall season. What should we do to care for our bodies over the fall? And spring is here right now. So I mean, even if you start taking vitamins, you'll see something by May or June, depending on what it is. Like he said, that you take some things you see right away, and some things that you don't. I use this thing called a focus tea, which I got from Deon. It works. It's worth every dime that you spend on it because the leaves are reusable. So not only do you get a nice size pouch, that pouch could probably last me for a year. It's like, I mean, it's worth it. I like it when I buy stuff like that.
Yeah, it definitely can't beat the price for that size.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, this stuff is fabulous, and it works, and I got a lot of it, and I could make a sweet tea, a hot tea, and I use honey as a form of sweetener.
Right.
So it is really, really good. So let people know how they can find you and how they can find out what products that you have for sale.
So you can definitely always find me at pop-ups all around everywhere, state to state. And so I always like on all my social media. So like Restore Your Health, my business page, Restore Your Health LLC on Facebook. I always try to put which event I'm gonna be at and where. Same thing with Instagram. Instagram is like Restore Your Health LLC _24. I put a lot of just information up there in general, not just where I'm gonna be at, but I had a lot of people reach out to me there. You can always email me. That's probably a lot of times the best way. So like Restore Your Health LLC @gmail.com. That's always a way to really get in contact with me. And I always even like at pop-ups and stuff. So you should actually probably still have a list of products that I have because I always try to put like a list.
Yeah, you give a list of a lot of products, and I was looking for that list yesterday. I saw it. I was cleaning my office, and I said, I know I have that list somewhere. I can't find that doggone list. It was a thick list.
I can send it to you.
Send it to me again because that is good. I mean, I am all over this health thing for your body, and you had said something about eczema, and you were telling me the best way to do is cleanse. Well, I find out that I dealt with not eczema, but I had a systolic pimples, and I would go to the dermatologist every time I would get the breakout, and I would go to them and they would give me some. Oh, you got to treat it from the inside. So here's some pills for the inside, and then this topical thing for the outside. And even a prescription is expensive. Okay, even a write off for the deduction is expensive. So then
Right.
you have all these other medications and creams that you can put on your skin at night and all this sort of stuff, and just crazy. So what I did was I noticed he told me to use the Eucerin. Start using the Eucerin products,
Mm-hmm.
and I did. And they're not expensive. They were not cheap, but I said to myself, I gotta pay for this stuff, and it's gone already. It's just, at $30, $40 a pop. Just like it's got to be another way. So one day I was taking some. One night I was taking this cream. And this cream was greasy. It was real greasy, but it was doing the job, and it was real greasy. So I said, when I ran out, I looked at these prices and said, Lord, I can't afford this. I can't afford this. So because the product was greasy, I decided to try some oil. I said, let's put oil on the skin. The systolic pimps, which was pimples, which was a no. Don't put oil in it. You're feeding it. No. I found out that oil eliminates systolic pimples. If you have systolic pimples, put some oil on it. Put some not just any type of oil. You got your grapeseed oils, you got your rosemary oils and stuff like that. Rub that on those pimples. I guarantee you.
I actually have like a skin oil that and I actually did, because it's like I see so many children, even like my grandchildren, like when they was little, like they grew. It's like it's gone now, but it was going through eczema and stuff when they was little. It's like, that skin oil works wonders.
Yeah, they tell you to stay away from oil. Don't put oil on it. It's just gonna agitate it. When it did just the opposite.
And the good thing about that, like for me, because I'm always like my first tester, it's gonna always be me. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah. So the thing is, what I realized, like one of my grandsons, he had a nut, like a peanut allergy, and anybody know if they had a child or anybody got a peanut allergy or just any kind of like anything that they going through a whole lot of different allergies after they've been tested, that really limits like what you can give them. So I couldn't even give him like grapeseed oil. He couldn't have cocoa butter, like shea butter, like nothing like that at all. So he was the one that I really was able to come up with this product for, and it worked wonders for him.
And this is the skin oil that you make it, or this is something that you
Yeah, and it's just, and all it is herbs. It's just herbs and like your organic like olive oil, but it's just that and herbs
for eczema.
Any kind of skin, any kind of that, psoriasis, anything like that.
I definitely want to find out about that because my granddaughter, she suffers from eczema. She has eczema as well.
You get so much. A lot of times, so that's something. A lot of times that is passed from the mother to the child.
Yeah.
Because a lot of
she got hers from her daddy.
Especially like if they breastfeed. And the mama eating a whole bunch of bread and stuff that's yeast and stuff, man, that'd be a recipe for disaster. And you starting to see that like a lot more. There's a lot more common there.
Wow.
Because before people really didn't know where it came from, but like now you starting to see that. Or again, like if the mother has, or the father too, have like all kind of gut issues and things like that. You starting to see that a whole lot, like trickling down to the child.
Yes, and then the mixing. I had put out a post last week. The mixing of the races. Like people say, "Oh, well, you're being racist." It's not being racist. When God created, if you see a duck, this is mating season for birds, ducks, and everything. When you see a duck, a blue jay, a cardinal, anything that go past your window, you admire the beauty in it because of its originality. Because it was bred that way. When God told us not to mix the breeds, He said that for a specific reason. Okay,
Right.
we didn't listen to Him. We just mixed ourselves with whatever that we could, which kind of goes back to the black man, not choosing the black woman. But
Right.
but because we have chosen to mix ourselves with another breed that has its own set of health problems, what
Right.
we've done is we've combined those health problems in that child. Because
Yeah.
then you
That's
didn't have black people really worried about psoriasis and all this sort of
right.
stuff. Neither did you have white people worried about really diabetes and stuff like that.
Right.
Now these kids has the best of both sicknesses,
Yeah.
both diseases that's growing up into their body. And it doesn't matter whether you made a pretty baby with good hair. If that
Right.
pretty baby with good hair has all type of health and mental problems, then you should not mix the breed.
Yeah. You had a lot of that. Like, cause we are genetically different.
Yes,
And
we
that's why
are.
your medication. That's why your medication is not even the same. Like when it. So when I have like white people come to me, they're not on metformin,
Yes.
but the black people are. The same thing with your blood pressure medicine. Like it's not the same. And even so, this is another I tell people is about even when you getting your blood work and you're getting your levels checked, and people panic when their blood pressure is not 120. And I tell people like we genetically different, and with us we naturally have more salts and sugars in our body.
Mm.
And so your levels, so what it is, they're basing your blood pressure off of a white male.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
that's the thing. So when your blood pressure is like 130 something, and now they're trying to put you on medication, no.
Because it's not health. You're not healthy. You're gonna. One doctor told my a friend of mine she was gonna die. She was gonna die if she didn't have this surgery to stop her from eating so much. I guess I don't know what kind of storage surgery, gastrology or something. And they told her, she said, I said, why are you doing this? She said, because I don't want to die. Said my doctor told me I was going to die. I said, the doctor's God. How can you? Why are you going to believe someone telling you, giving the gift of life and death over you?
Right.
I said, I just don't think that this is a good thing. And she went on and did it anyway. She lost some weight, but she's back to being big again. She's
Yeah,
back
I've
to
seen
after
it.
a couple of years.
I've definitely seen that.
She,
Definitely, because that's the thing people don't realize is that again, that go back to those quick fixes. You didn't fix the root cause.
mm-hmm. That's right.
So that's where the problem come in. A lot of times, like when they cut something off or they
Mm-hmm.
remove something, you still have those same issues, or they come back.
Mm-hmm.
I see that all the time with our women.
Mm-hmm.
They get surgery for fibroids,
Mm-hmm.
and then they grow back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like but they never stop getting the perms, the relaxers,
Yes.
again putting the bath and body on their skin, everything
Uh-huh.
that causes it,
Yeah.
the birth control, everything that's high in estrogen that they put in their body and on their skin, they never addressed that, which was the root cause.
That's right. That's right. And and it's just sad because she went through a vitamin D deficiency, after
Mm-hmm.
surgery, post surgery, couple weeks, hair started falling out. She had to start regrowing her hair and stuff again, all because of the surgery that you end up being back the same size that you were before you had the
Wow.
surgery.
Wow.
You never change your eating habits. If you could sit down and grab a table full of crab legs and breaking them open. And then you think you're eating healthy because you got seafood, okay? So you got a table full of crab legs. You're cracking them open. You're dipping them into this substitute butter. Not even real butter. You dipping them into a substitute butter, and you're throwing down on them. What do you think is going to happen?
You're right.
Okay, I gotta go. We done went 6 minutes past our time, but I enjoyed our conversation so much, Deon. You know, you have so much knowledge and wisdom to spread with everyone, not including these awesome products that you are selling to help certain things. And I might have some questions for you because I be looking for things. I be looking for things, you know, to help, you know, with things in my body as I get older, because I want to be the best in the best health that I can, you know. You know, I want to be like a Jane Fonda. Was she almost 100? And she looks like, if she's not 100 yet, she's close too. But she looks great. She looks like she could be no more than 60 years old. Great health, but she's always taking care of her health, you know, all along, you know. So you want to, if you're going to live in this life, you want to be able to be healthy. You want to be able to move around. You don't want to be, because the way I see it, I know I got a weird way of looking at life, but this is the way I see it. When you're young and you're born, you have all the way up until you're 30, 35 or something, which is your younger ages, you know. You're going to spend more time, if God allows you to stay on this earth, you're going to spend more time in your older age than you will in your younger age. Right now, I say I have less time ahead of me than I have behind me, because, but you don't know how long. God just might bless you to live to see 100. Everybody's not going to die at 55, 60, 70, 80. Everybody's not going to die. You know, so if he's going to bless you with these years to be more than what you had when you were youthful and younger, then you want to take care of yourself. I don't want to be in a wheelchair at 60.
Right.
Because there's just too much life that's still in me ready to go. You know, but we don't think about these things. We don't think about these things when we're younger, what we're doing to our bodies when we get older. Because once you're 40, which, you know, a kid considers 40 as old because they don't know any better. But you know better. Who wants to be disabled with something at 40 when your life expectancy is 70? So you're going to live 30 years using this walker, 30 years using this wheelchair, 30 years or even more. That's at 80. If God says you're going to live to see 90, you're going to live 40 years. So I'm a firm believer of, let's cut that down, okay? So if I have to be in the wheelchair, let me be on the wheelchair at 75.
Right.
Then 45. Right. Some of us look for that. Yeah, they look for us because they want that disability check. Oh, I could get this and that. But you're not thinking about the years ahead of you.
Right.
So
that's so true.
I just think, you know, and that's the way that I have programmed my mind to think ahead instead of behind. You know, what can I do in my ahead years to make myself feel better, to look better, to, you know, to be healthier, you know, so that I could live to see I want to see my granddaughter get married. I mean, and she's 2.
One thing about it, like they say, the time go fast.
It does.
Before you know it.
It does. And people that pick on older people, oh, she's old, she's this and this. They don't stop and realize that every day you age. Yeah. Every day you age. I had talked to this one person that said, okay, I'm 47-year-old. I got 3 more years before I'm 50. I said, in what life and what calendar are you looking at? I said, don't you know that if you turn 47 years old in September of 2025. When 2026 came in, you were already in your 48th year.
Mm-hmm.
You're already in it. It won't be official until
Right.
September.
Right.
But soon as that calendar turned 2026, you're already in your 48th year. So you don't.
And so that's the thing too, though. Like I said, so much stuff is mental. Like
Yeah.
it's like, why would you? And I'm not saying don't celebrate your birthday, but I'm just saying it's just some of the stuff we do. Like we celebrate getting older. Like as far as a number.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm like, I
And
want to get old because of the wisdom and
yes.
experience and all of that. But it's like I think we put too much focus on.
We
the
put
number.
too much focus, and we're so afraid of getting there. That's what this. I mean, when the person told me that they had 3 more years because they were 47, I said, you better think about it. You got a year because you are in your 48th year.
Yeah, it's like a lot of times.
Yeah.
Actually, my birthday is tomorrow, but I be forgetting, and I be forgetting how old I am because I don't even put that much emphasis
on it anymore. Yeah, my mom, she had taught me that. She had taught me about that, and I said, you know what, Mom, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. We do not think that way. Once that calendar turns into that next year, you are already living in that year that you're waiting to be official. So when you're you're waiting for 48 to be official, but you're living in your 48th year. So once you actually turn 48, you are now the day after for your birthday, you are now living in your 49th year.
Right.
I know people don't want to look at it that way, but it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And what's really crazy is that a lot of the elders are outdoing the youth.
Yes, we are.
Like this, like my dad, he is what 70, either 76 or I think he's 76 or 77, but he walked 5 miles every day.
My mom does too.
And it's like, and he takes sea moss every day. Like one thing about it, like if he get low on sea moss, hey, I need some sea moss. I ain't got but a couple of.
My mom does too. At 86.
Like, I love that though because I'm looking at it. I'm like, you know how many people right now that's in their 20s or early 30s that can't walk 5 miles. I ain't even say run. I mean walk 5 miles.
Yep. Yeah, we have to reprogram ourselves to getting older. We have to. I know we don't want to think about it because nobody wants to get old, but not thinking about it is not going to help you and your health. You know what I mean? Once you get there and you start having these problems, then you decide to live your life healthier. It's going to take you longer to get there. And you may give up. Well, I done did this and I done eaten this for 3 months and I'm sick of eating this and it's expensive and I'm not seeing no difference. You got to give it time. So once you're already there, it's going to take longer for whatever healthy lifestyle you choose to kick in. So you have to be patient. Give it at least 3 to 6 months before you see any results happening. Everything is not a quick fix.
Yeah, and it's like that. Everything that they pretty much programmed and made for us that seems so convenient is really just a lazy device.
Mm-hmm.
I think the remote was the first lazy tool.
Yeah.
You remember back in the day when you had to go up to the cable box or whatever
and turn the TV. Yeah.
We were the remote.
We were the remote. We the kids were. Yeah.
So now everything's like that. You got everything at your fingertips on a phone. You got you literally don't have to get up and go get an encyclopedia and look up something. Like it's right. Everything is convenient, but with that, it just becomes lazy. I mean, you look at everybody with office jobs. How many people get up from their desk and walk to the copy machine? Like you already know what we do. You stay sitting down in that chair. You slide to the copy machine.
There you go. We don't think about it. It's time that we start thinking about it. Personally on LJDNRadio and stuff, I do a lot of quotes and try to give a little bit of advice to older women. This is what I do for my older black women because I find that older black women don't take care of themselves. And when they decide to take care of themselves, it's kind of, I'm not going to say it's too late, but it takes a little bit longer for them to get to where they need to be. And
Right.
but it's also our confidence level. Our confidence level as older black women that I find has been destroyed. It's
Yeah.
been destroyed, and I think that building ourselves up, building our confidence level up is the first thing that we need to do. Is to realize that just because you're older does not mean you're not entitled to love. You're not entitled to be in a relationship. You're not entitled to go out on a date. You're not entitled for someone to tell you you're beautiful. You don't have to sit back and watch your kids because you can't do anything. Now, I know a lot of us older women are getting out there, but there's still so many of them that has not taken care of themselves, that are not confident enough as an older person to live their older life in some type of joy, in some type of happiness and satisfaction, and being happy within their own skin.
Yeah. And I tell people, this the and it's for everybody. Just especially in the morning, start with positive affirmations. Especially looking in the mirror. I mean, tell yourself like I'm beautiful, I'm healthy,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm healed. I'm start speaking those kind of things instead of saying I'm fat, I'm ugly. I'm just because if you say those things, yeah, it's pretty much gonna be true and it's gonna happen because it's like you're saying it. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
see people that say things all the time. I'm just always so sick. Well, yeah, you keep saying it every day. That's pretty much what's gonna happen. Like, try speaking positivity over your life and then put the work in and do something about it.
That's right.
That
That's right.
changes everything. Like, you shouldn't need somebody to tell. I mean, yeah, it's great to hear, you handsome, you pretty, whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't need an individual to tell you. You tell yourself that.
That's right. Tell yourself that you believe in yourself. Believe that you are beautiful at any age. Your wisdom comes with beauty. There's beauty in wisdom, and just take that from the inside, work it into your outside, and you can grow old gracefully, and you can have those dates and do all those things that you want and look good doing it. And you don't have to care if the older black man don't want the older black women, because I've heard that older black men don't care for the woman once she passed 30. Once she hits four, when she passed 35, 25 is considered an old maid. 35 is considered an older maid, and and we, and when you're 40, you're just go hang yourself up on the shelf someplace because you're done. Nobody wants
That's
to.
bad.
Then
You
you got
said
your old.
30.
Then you got your older women, your younger women calling you old, and they don't realize that they're going to get old, and they don't realize by calling you old only makes them grow old worse. Because you picked on someone not realizing that you're going to be that age too. So
Yeah.
I try to promote that within the older black women because I see a lack of it there. I see a lack of it there, and I just really wish that would be restored within their health, within their mental
Right.
psyche, in everything. And don't worry about it. Those older, they want the young girls. Let them take them young girls, because some young girls gonna use them, take their
Yeah.
money, and cheat on them. And then everything, they'll be back to you because they're sick. Because if they get sick, they ain't taking care of them. Hell with that.
Oh no.
You think
Oh
I'm
no.
gonna stay
You
home
know
Saturday night
that.
and take care of you? They gone. They out in the streets. you you gonna call Sheila, because Sheila live around the block. She live in the neighborhood, and she'll come over and make you some soup, or rub you something. Sheila's in her 40s, okay? So
Right.
stop being mean to these older women and trying to make them think that they're not wanted and needed. So,
Right. Absolutely.
but I'm gonna let you go. I had to go. Thank you so much, Deon. I appreciate you. And this interview will be on the YouTube channel.
Yes.
So definitely send me your Facebook information so I can put where they would be able to contact you, especially if you want some of that focus tea that Lena's been talking about. Because I've done a couple of lives where I'm making that focus tea. And I love it.
I definitely appreciate you for having me.
No problem. All right then, sir. Thank you. And I'm going to let you go. You enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be in touch. Because I want to find out about that skin oil, too, for my granddaughter. Okay?
Okay, I got you.
All right, then. Okay. And bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, TikTok. Did you enjoy that interview, TikTok? Well, it's time for me to go because I'm way past the show time. And I enjoyed that. I hope you guys did. It'll be on the YouTube channel. You'll be able to listen to it again and find out some information about Deon and how to get in contact with him, especially if you don't do anything else. Get that focus tea. This is Lena Jones, and I'm signing out. Thank you, TikTok Diamonds, for listening.